Good day viewers, my name is Lucky Ayasi and this is Luyasi Fashion. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cuff links. So today I'm going to show you how to do a cuff links. First things first, we're going to cut out the cuff. So this is a collar gun. So we're going to cut the cuff. On average, the width of the cuff most times, or the length of the cuff most times, is 9 inches on average. So I'm going to mark 9 inches here. Then the height of the cuff, I mostly use 2.5 inches. So I place my 2.5 inch mark here. I place my 2.5 inch mark here. I also take it, since I'm cutting two cuffs, I also take another 2.5. I take 2.5. Then I'll now draw my line. And I connect this one. That's a 9 inch. And connect this. I'm cutting two cuffs simultaneously. Connect. So I'm going to cut it out now. Cut out this. Cut out this. You can decide to leave it box like this, or you can decide to curve it, but me, I prefer to give it a kind of curve, so I'll do it in this manner. Then take it like this, merge this one and shape the other side like this. As you can see. Okay, so I am going to place this is the wrong side of the fabric, so I'm going to use the shiny side of the gum stay and place it on the wrong side of the fabric. So you're going to press it on the wrong side of the fabric. The shiny side is where the gum is, so that's the part that will go into the wrong side of the fabric. Now on the down part, I'm going to leave like 1 inch or 3/4 inch. 1 inch or 3/4 inch on the down part. Then on the sides, I'm going to leave like 1/4 of an inch. Then on the upper side, maybe like 1/2 inch. Cut it out. This down part, I'm going to fold it like this. Fold it like this. Then now I can put on my steam and press it up like this. I'm going to take this one, press it up like this. I folded the down part, so I'm going to cut an exact piece of this. I'm going to turn it, so I'm going to cut another piece of it, a wider piece. So I'm going to cut it like this from here now. So now the next thing is I'm going to cut a placket for the cuff. So usually I use 5.5 inch for the height of the small placket and 1 inch for the width of the placket. So I'm going to cut out the 1 inch now. You can't, most likely you need a measuring tape to do this. I've been into this for quite some time, that's why I can freehand it. I already know the measurement, but most likely if you're the one doing it, I advise you to use a tape to cut this. As you can see, I ironed this stay on the extreme left hand, I ironed this on the extreme right hand, and there's a space. There's no allowance for folding at the top, but there's allowance for folding at the down parts. This because one of it is for the left hand, the other is for the right hand. This is very important. You see, I didn't iron this, I didn't press this on this side like this side. One is on this side, the other is on this side. One is for the left, one is for the right. If you don't do it this way, it's not going to work out. Press this down allowance, press it down. I'm going to press it. Okay, so I'm going to place the hemming gum here, then press it this way, and I turn here and press it. So now I didn't explain this. What I did was from the gum stay position to the end, I left like 3 inches. So you're going to leave 3 inches from this position to this position. So from this area now, you're going to measure down. The slit for the cuff is about 4.5 inches. So I'm going to measure 4.5 inches to this position. then I'll cut it from here. Then when I get too close to the gum stay, I'll leave about ½ inch allowance and I'll cut here. The same thing I'll do here. As you can see, the pieces are actually opposite. You see the allowance is facing here, this allowance is facing here. That's how it should be. Now this is the sleeve. As you can see, this is the wrong side facing up. The wrong side, this is also the wrong side on the other one facing down. So what you do is the right side, you face the right side should face the right side. Then when the right side, this is the right side of the sleeve for one sleeve, this is the right side of the other sleeve, so it should face each other just the way I placed it. The wrong side is on top and the wrong side is under. Then you fold it this way, you fold the sleeve this way together like this. Then you notch, you pick just two part of it, then you notch. Get like we have a cuff. The cuff height is 9 inches, so 9 divided by 2, that's 4.5. Then I'm going to do a pleat of ½ inch, so making 5. So as you can see, where I place the notching is that 5 inches divided by 2, so we have 2.5 inches. So you just pick two of the piece, then you fold it this way and you notch just the way I notched it here like this. This is very important. Now we'll go to the sewing machine and I'll show you how to join it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is this is the one part of the cuff. I'm going to stitch this side I folded. I'm going to stitch it about ½ inch round. So I'm going to place it under the machine like this. Then I'm going to start stitching. Stitch this one. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to use that other pieces to turn the top and the cuff. So I'm going to take this one, the good side, facing the good side of these pieces. I'm going to place it like this. We're making sure there's allowance at this down part. Then I'm going to sew it. Now when you're doing this sewing, make sure there's a little bit of allowance. It shouldn't be directly on top of the, it shouldn't be directly on close to the, it shouldn't be exactly at the edge of the gum stay. There should be a little bit of allowance, like a 0.1 inch from the tip. As you can see, as I'm sewing, I'm leaving a little bit of allowance. This is because when you are turning it, when I finish sewing it and when I start turning it, if you sew it too close to the gum stay, the gum stay is going to be pulling it and it's not going to come out well. So when you're sewing, as you can see, there's a little bit of allowance. I'll come up close. I'm going to sew it. Okay, so now this one part of the sleeve, this is the wrong side. The wrong side is what's facing up. So you're going to take one part of the cuff. This one is for this sleeve. You place it, this place I notch. You fold, this is the placket, the cuff placket. You fold it like this. Then you place this side I notch. You place it on the end of the cuff. This side of the cuff, you place it on this side. When you place it, now what you're going to do now is this long side. The cuff itself should be facing this side that there's enough allowance, while these other pieces left here should be facing this smaller side. It's very important, so that when I sew it and turn it, this side will come to this side while these pieces will come to this smaller side. So what you're going to do, this is the notch. I'm going to place this close to the notch around this area. Then I'm going to sew from here. I'm going to sew from the edge, making sure I don't catch this placket, but it's going to be very close. I'm going to sew, then I'm going to come here by ½ inch and I'm going to take it up. So watch very closely as I sew. So I'll sew this. I'm very careful not to catch the cuff, the cuff placket. So I'm sewing. So when I get close to the end of these pieces, about ½ inch, I'm going to turn it like this. When I turn it, I'm going to go towards this side by ½ inch, something like this. Then I'm going to turn it this way. Then I'll sew, take it up. So after taking it up, I'm going to see this is the result you get. So I'm going to cut this area. This is going to be our slit. Cut it close to the so I'm going to get close to the stitch Then I'm going to notch it to the corner. I'm going to notch this other side to the other corner, as you can see. Then I'm going to turn it. This is the good side. Now I'm going to turn this towards the side now. Okay, so I'm stitching this on top, as you can see, and turn it to this other side. I can see we're getting our. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take note of this other smaller one that I stitched. This is the position, is around here. So I'm making sure that when I stitch down to this point, I'm going to close that area. So it's going to be around this area. So I'm going to place this and take it up to that position. So when I get to this point, I'm going to turn it and I'm going to close this area, as you can see. Then you turn it to this side, and you can give a different kind of design, any kind of design, but me mostly I just stitch on top like this and back stitch. As you can see, this is the result you get, as you can see when you open it up. Okay, so as you can see, I've trimmed out the edges, the excess allowance, so I'm going to turn it and press it. Okay, as you can see, I've ironed out the cuff, and this is the placket that I just did. So I usually put a pleat close to this big placket here, this big side. So I'm going to get a pleat. Now this pleat is not done straight. You slant the pleat towards this side. So I'm going to slant my pleat. As you can see, I've slanted the pleat towards this side. So I'm going to stitch the pleat first. So I've stitched the pleat. This placket, I'm going to close it temporarily so that I can be able to close the sleeve and fix the cuff. So I'm going to take this side and stitch it together. So I'm going to close the sleeve now. Close it. The cuff, the width of the cuff is 9 inches. So that 9 inches divided by 2, I'm going to place it at the end of the opening like this. 4.5. So okay, so I'm closing it 4.5 inch, take it up a little, then I stop. So what I'm going to do now finally is this is the wrong side, so I'm going to place this cuff, I'm going to place it like this to the wrong side like this. So this opening is here, so this part I'm placing it on the wrong side and place it under the machine. I'm going to open up this joining that I did inside, then place it like this and stitch, making sure I leave ½ inch allowance and making sure I stitch close to that interface placket, but close to the cuff but not catching it. The only area I'm catching is that allowance, the ½ inch allowance I left on the other side. So when you stitch, you now make sure these two sides are aligned, then you stitch it to the end. So now you're not going to fold this and cover that place you stitched. Cover it, make sure you put it inside, then you stitch on top. As you're sewing, make sure you stretch this side and align this one so that you catch it on top. As you can see, this is the finished placket. It's looking very nice. You can see the inner side, I also cut it at the inner side and even the outer side. This is the work. It's looking very nice. Follow me on all my social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on WhatsApp. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel Luyasi Fashion to get updated on my uploads. Thank you.